Eatontown, and welcome to another episode of Eatontown Voices. And before I get into today's topic, I want to start with something positive, and I want to give credit where credit is due. I want to give a shout out to Eatontown's Mayor and Council and everyone involved in the improvements of Captain James Gurbisz Memorial Park. If you have not been there recently, take a look. The splash park is ready for splashing. Electrical wiring, outlets, and lighting have been installed. The gazebo has been expanded, and the new bathrooms are a beautiful addition to the park. This is the kind of investment our community needs to see. So to Mayor Tallarico, council and borough employees, professionals, contractors, and everyone who helped from JCP&L to the local helpers, thank you. I believe that leadership also means being willing to recognize good work even when you're running for office and even when you may disagree with the people currently making some of the decisions. And that brings me to today's conversation, the municipal building. Let's talk about solutions. So over the last several weeks, there has been a lot of discussion about Eatontown's proposed municipal building. I've raised questions, other residents have raised questions, council members have responded, and at the recent council meetings, former councilman David Gindy have showed up, and he raised a very direct challenge to yours truly. Essentially, the question was, if you're questioning the direction of this project, what would you actually do instead? And that's a fair question. As someone asking for residents of Eatontown to elect me and my colleagues for council, I believe that I have a responsibility to answer. I've also heard the criticism that some of the issues I discuss are sensationalized, exaggerated, and presented as hype. Well, I'm in the media space, so I understand the natural approach that I have, but I want to be clear. I'm not interested in creating fear. I'm interested in asking questions. And when the facts are not established, I will say that. When estimates change, I will say that. When I don't know something, believe me, I will say that too. Because our campaign is built around three principles: affordability, fiscal responsibility, and transparency. And those principles have to apply to me as much as they apply to the government I'm seeking to join. So rather than simply telling you what I question about the municipal building project, today I want to directly tell you what I would advocate for if I were sitting in council as a councilman today. First, establish the need. I believe there is a broad agreement that our current municipal building has serious deficiencies. Our employees deserve a safe, functional place to work. Our police deserves and needs appropriate facilities. Our residents deserve efficient access to borough services. The question then isn't simply whether something needs to be done. The question is, what exactly do we need? Before committing taxpayers to a final building size or a final project cost, I would advocate for an independent need assessment. How many employees do we have today? What are realistic staffing projections? How much space does each department actually require? What specialized facilities are necessary? What should we include now and what could be potentially added later? Let's establish those answers clearly and publicly. Then we can make decisions based on documented needs, not wish lists. Second, give council and the public real choices. I don't believe a project of this magnitude should be presented as a choice between build this or do nothing. I would advocate for a side-by-side comparison of viable alternatives. If renovation remains viable, show us the numbers. If renovation is no longer economically or operationally practical, explain why. Show us a right-sized new construction option and show us whether a phased approach is possible, one that meets our needs today while allowing the building to expand if Eatontown needs to grow tomorrow. Then put the options next to each other. Construction costs, financing costs, temporary relocation costs, maintenance, energy costs, expected useful life, and the estimate impact on taxpayers. Now, we're not arguing options. We are simply comparing choices, as we should. Third, make affordability part of the decision. Here's one of the biggest questions I believe every resident deserves to have answered. What does this mean to me? Not simply, what is this gonna cost us? No. To me, individually, to my family. What does the borrowing look like? Over how many years? What are the projected annual debt payments? And what could that mean for the average Eatontown taxpayer? Before I vote to approve a major capital project as a councilman, I want to understand the full financial picture, because government doesn't have its own money. It has your money. And fiscal responsibility means treating every taxpayer dollar with the same seriousness that families treat their household budgets. Fourth, transparency should be automatic. My next proposal is simple. Put the information online, not an ordinance, not partial maybes. The full picture, the studies, the professional reports, the architectural plans that are appropriate for public release, the cost estimates, the financing assumptions, the major changes to scope. Give residents one place where they can follow the project from beginning to end. Residents shouldn't have to attend every council meeting or search through dozens of documents to understand one of the largest investments in their local government that will make. Transparency shouldn't be something residents have to chase. It should be how governments operate. And let me be clear. Transparency does not mean hiding something or there's some conspiracy or corruption. Transparency just means the glass you're using is blurry. Can we use a different glass that is clear enough for us to see through it? Fifth, look for every opportunity to reduce the taxpayer burden. Before asking Eatontown taxpayers to carry the full cost of a major project, I would want the borough to examine every reasonable opportunity to reduce that burden. Are there grants available? Energy efficiency incentives, infrastructure funding, shared services opportunities? Are there design choices that could reduce construction costs without sacrificing safety or functionality? Can certain components be phased? Can we design intelligently for expansion instead of constructing space before we actually need it? See, I want our professionals to bring council those options, then council can make an informed decision. Now, to be fair, there has been a lot of discussions, hours upon hours of discussions, but nothing has been officially presented as options or choices. That's why I keep asking the questions without sensationalism. Sixth, build for the future without overbuilding for the future. All right, check it out. Former Councilman David Gindy raised an important point about long-term planning. He's right that we cannot build a municipal building based solely on what Eatontown needs this morning. A municipal building is a long-term investment. We have to consider growth. We have to consider changes in municipal services. We have to consider what happens if shared service arrangements change. But planning for the future doesn't automatically tell us how many square feet to construct today. That's where careful planning comes in. If we can design a facility that meets our documented needs today and can expand intelligently tomorrow, that option deserves serious consideration. Maybe the analysis ultimately tells us that building more space now is more economical. Maybe it doesn't. My position is simple. Show us the actual analysis. Then let's make a decision. So, Sir David Gindy, here's my answer to your direct question to me. You asked, in effect, what the solution is. If I were sitting on council today, I would advocate for a clear process, establish the actual need, compare viable options, calculate the full life cycle cost, show taxpayers the financial impact, publish that very same information before a vote, pursue every reasonable opportunity to reduce costs, and then make a decision. I'm not running for council to stop progress. I'm running because I believe we can make progress responsibly. I'm not running to criticize every decision made by the current council. There are going to be a lot of hard decisions that might not always be what we all collectively want. As I said at the beginning, when the borough does something well, I will say so. And when I believe we need to ask some more questions, I'll ask them. But I also understand something important. A councilman cannot just ask questions. Eventually, you have to make decisions. You have to vote. And you have to be accountable for those votes, as I hope many of our residents take a look at who voted for what and for how long. That's the responsibility I'm asking Eatontown residents to give me. My commitment is that I will approach those decisions through the same three principles my team and I have talked about throughout this campaign: affordability, fiscal responsibility, and transparency. I don't want the biggest municipal building, and I don't want the smallest municipal building. I want the right municipal building for Eatontown. One that serves our employees where they can be proud. One that serves our residents where they don't all get overburdened. One that prepares us for the future that looks so bright. And one that taxpayers can afford. That's the conversation I believe Eatontown deserves. And that's the kind of councilman I intend to be. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here in Eatontown Voices. And I'll see you around town. Take care, Eatontown.
Still marketing your business like it's the Yellow Pages era? Welcome to ME Studios, where local solopreneurs and small business owners catch up with the digital world and take over it. We help you go from invisible to undeniable. Featured on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Plus, gain press exposure in over 100 to 300 major media outlets like Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, and the CW. Right here in Eatontown, New Jersey, just steps away from the soon-to-be Netflix studios, our multi-unit facility is built for creators, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Stop marketing like it's 1995. Start building your digital authority today with a team that gets it.